Okay.
Now that some of you have seen various videos of my friends and I shooting random objects with a Saiga 12, I thought I would make a video about the Saiga 12 that we've been using. I personally converted this Saiga 12. I did not buy it already converted. That means from scratch I bought a sporterized, conditioned Saiga 12 from scratch. Ishmash made Saiga 12. Just your standard job. Then to convert it, I gotta tell you right up front, I don't have a TIG welder, so I could not weld the back plate or turn the carrier handle. But what we've constructed works amazingly well, and I actually almost like it better for several reasons. I'll go into that in a moment. But first, let's start with the obvious. On any Saiga 12 that's been converted, it must stay 922R compliant. If it's not 922R compliant, you could possibly go to jail, prison. The ATF may knock on your door and ask you what you are doing. So keep it 922R compliant if you decide to go down this road and convert one yourself. First, let's start with the puck and a plug. That is an MD Arms 5-position plug. It has 5 positions, which are clearly labeled up on the top, to allow various amounts of gas to transfer through the barrel into the piston, or into the puck in this case, which is pressed against the piston. This is the puck. This is a KA puck. It's good for about $35. It's supposed to be a pretty good puck. I don't have any complaints with it myself. Standard piston, standard bolt. That's one of the few original parts. One of the very few original parts. You can see the piston and the bolt. Recoil spring. This is American Matronics recoil spring. It's actually set to full power. It's not extra powered. It's just not reduced power. I adjusted for the light brass by the plug. I modified the plug. I'm not going to get into that. That's something that normal people probably should not be doing on their own. They could blow up their gun that way. So we're going to avoid talking about that. Next, we used a standard 7.5-inch ace stock with a 1-inch ace stock pad with the ace stock folding adapter. You can see it. It folds, comes back, and the sling adapter for the adapter. It's a sling. There's a screw on the side of the adapter that the sling can screw into if you order one of these slings. Works great. It holds right on in there. Does well. It's on the wrong side of the gun because I wanted the stock to fold to the left so that the gun can still be operated while the stock is folded. So that was the downside to that part, but I don't believe it gets in the way of anything. Now this is the interesting thing to me. As a professional gunsmith, I'm going to give you a little advice here. There is no such thing as drop-in. The only gun that can even remotely pull it off is a Glock. Everything must be fit for full function. Get it fit. This is supposed to be the Tromix drop-in. Hammer, sear, and trigger. All American made still. It is not drop-in. This thing took a great deal amount of work. There are a lot of custom shops, or what they want to call themselves as custom shops, who convert these, and they don't fit this right. The disconnector doesn't work right. You can see when you're holding the trigger, that disconnector, which is this guy right here, better catch that hammer. When you let go, it should be caught by the sear, which is this guy right here on the side of the hammer. Then when that is released, you can see it sliding off the hammer. Then it comes forward. That keeps you from going to full auto. It keeps actually unreliable full auto. It keeps the hammer from following the bolt. That has to be fit right. That has to be fit to the circumstances of your gun. So they better Whoever's doing this for you better know what they're doing. You can really get a messed up, dangerous firearm. They don't know what they're doing. Standard safety. This is the Tromix drop-in bolt-on kit. It bolted on. It did all right. Again, I didn't have a TIG welder, so I didn't have the option of welding that on. But this worked out great. This worked out very well. It's got a lot of room for finger with a glove on it. Standard saw handle with compartment to put anything that you like in there, and including the bolt that holds on the handle, the grip. That closes. It's not airtight, so you can't put, I wouldn't put shells in there. This is the CSS adapter plate. This is a bolt-in plate instead of a weld-on plate. I like this better for one reason only. I like this better than any of the other bolt-on adapter plates, but as opposed to the weld-on. This bolts in on the sides as well, and when you convert it, you move all the trigger components forward. There's two holes right here. You got to refinish the whole gun to get those to blend right. But these just put two black bolts in. Sure, that filled that whole problem. I didn't have to redo that. Now, you do have to, coat the bottom something to make it black, because it's shiny when you remove this. Shiny white. So you can get various enamel paints, Duracoats, things like that. You just want to make sure that you blend it in well to the rest of the gun. When it's something this large, it's a whole lot easier to blend than something this small. Of course, all the trigger stuff has been moved forward. You can see there and right there. Funny thing about these guns is also like AK-47s, they do create this drag line. That's unescapable. They always do that. Yeah, I used the UTG rail, but at the time, not because I particularly cared for it more than any of the other rails. I'm actually fond of the Chaos rails, personally. It was during the big Saiga craze, and everybody wanted to have one, and this was one that was available. It allows you to use the original sights, which is great. See through there? You can use the original sights. I put a neon bead up on the top for quick buckshot and birdshot target acquisition. That worked out alright too. But this is a good rail. It's a solid rail. It was considerably more solid than I predicted. This is just a standard short vertical grip. It's got a hollow base. It's on there crossing the Picatinny rails, which will hold it in solid under 12 gauge recoil. It's RVG, and of course it uses the original sling mount. The forearm does, the UTG forearm. And then we added the Phoenix breacher brake with barrel nut. Pretty stout brake, pretty aggressive teeth. Pretty stout. It's wide open choke. It has zero constriction. It is very durable, very well. It's very solid with the barrel nut. And I guess that's actually the breakdown of that. Standard cover. Now, with that said, we will put it all together so that you can see it as a working object. Let's start with the puck and the piston and the plug. This particular plug goes face up. Just put that in there. As you can see, there it is. Should slide in there. If it doesn't slide in there, do not force it. Problem is it's got very little to grab. Hold on 1 second. It's hard to do on camera. Alright. It can catch on the threads that go on through there. There you go. Comes right in there. You can hear it moving around in there. It's ready to go. Then you screw the MD puck in all the way. Like so. Till it bottoms out. Don't force it again, just bottom it out. Now by their instruction guide, you then back off a full section. So this is where the deal is that lets you see whether it's a full section or not. So we'll tighten it down all the way. So the pin is in this section, so we want to back it out. Then we're in the next section, right there. All right. Now you should be able to hear that puck moving around. I'm sure you can hear that. All right, that worked out great. Next, we want to put in the bolt. And that is, I was turning this around earlier. Let's see. Let's see here. All right. There we go. Now that goes in here like so. Hammer has to be down so that this will fit. Remember that. That's important. All right. Line up everything. Make sure that's all lined up. Line up there. It's got 2 grooves inside the frame, which you can see. Here are the grooves that you want to be able to fit the grooves of the carrier into these grooves so that it will go and hook under this ledge. It's right there. And that will slide in. Now, see how that clips into place? You can hear it clip. It doesn't clip onto anything. Don't get me wrong. So don't go, wow, it's not clipping on anything. No, it's not supposed to. That was a bad choice of words. Here's the recoil spring. Now the dust cover for the action needs to go on the outside edge, which is on the right side of the carrier. Let's see here. See it right there on the outside edge of the carrier. And it will ride on the edge like that. Then you mount this into that groove. There's a groove right and here to mount it, that it sits in. At that point you can actually dry cycle it and make sure it's working right. Alright, obviously that's going alright. So now we put the dust cover on. There's a lip right in there. The dust cover has to mount in. I'll zoom in on it. That is the lip right here. Dust cover goes in this lip like so. And after it goes in that lip, you lever it down here in the back so that the back of the recoil rod will come out here, be protruding sideways. There we go. Now the dust cover is on. Dry cycling again. It's not going to hurt these much to dry fire them. You'd have to do it thousands of times to really hurt it. Here's another modification that was made. Most of them, the safety will ride too high. It will go right up into the bolt, scratch the bolt. That's annoying. You can fit the safety to stop on the edge of the dust cover. I suggest doing that because it brings it up and stops it and keeps you from scratching the bolt all up, the carrier all up, the cover all up. That's nice. Should be able to dry fire. Boom. Dry fire. Safety on. Nothing happens. Alright. That's good. Now, you can see if you can see that. Load 20 round drum in. Drop the safety. Cycle around it, which there are no rounds in this, and then you're ready to rock with a 20 round drum. Ready to do some destruction. Like we do. Of course, you want to put the safety on when you're not using it. Of course, the drum's empty. You can check whether the gun is loaded or not with the safety on, even though you can't get the round out if there was one there. It's safety on, you can bring it back all the way. And that's the Saiga 12 that I personally converted and some of the reasons why I made the decisions I made on it. But thank you for watching my video. Hope I answered any questions at Saiga 12. If I didn't, feel free to leave comments, love criticisms. Not gonna hurt my feelings by asking me to explain myself. I have reasons why I do the things I do, and I'm more than willing to tell you. So, thank you for watching again. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.